For 4.5 hours, I sat in the sterilized car lot. The building had a strange musk about it, one which made my stomach turn and my eyes water after a short time. The Oldsmobile Alero that I had owned had finally shaken to pieces. I needed to buy a new car. After 9 hours of trying to repair the vehicle, I finally gave up and made my way to the car lot to buy a new one. My mind was fevered by the end of the day. My eyes were heavy. My throat was dry. I had failed to eat that day, as from dusk till dawn, I was constantly pushing myself, thinking, just a few more minutes, then everything will be done. Then I can rest, eat, sleep, and get ready for work the next day. The fever of my mind at this time leads me to a quick sleep, one which is enriched by a most abnormal dream, even for me. My eyes open to a blackened screen. A heads-up display appears, followed by a user interface. I've played games with my dreams before, but very seldomly this literally. A list of names is pulled up before me, as well as icons dictating who the person is. It's several of my friends, all of them using their online alias. The top name, Mr. Didius Black. His icon is that of Indigo Montoya from Princess Bride. Second name down is Neko Suli. His icon is some sort of a pink, bat-like animal. Looks like something out of Fern Gully. Third name down is Dark Sage. His icon is that of Magus from Chrono Trigger. Bottom name on the list, Neko. He's using his icon from the concert we'd gone to only a few months ago. It's him in a pixelated version wearing his tan hoodie and his black glasses. A message pops up at the top of the screen asking me to choose a second player. This is a game. I know it. I don't know the nature of the game yet, but I will. And if it's a game, I know who I want to choose. Dark Sage. Dark Sage is my oldest and most trusted friend. I've known him since my early childhood. He tends to be competitive, but that's understandable. After saying Sage's name, the black screen gives away, a different screen comes up. It's an inventory screen. A series of objects float before me, and I'm asked to choose an outfit. Most of the things in there are of little interest to me. Rifles, handguns, shotguns, pistols. What is of interest to me? My crossbow, a quiver of darts, my combat knife, the black one with a leather casing and the diamond tip, the one that my dad gave me. I know what Sage is going to pick. He's going to take the shotgun and either couple it with a second shotgun. Why not? If angels existed in modern day and had been created with our modern mentality, the burning sword of Matthew would most certainly be a 12-gauge tactical shotgun. There's a short wait. The world shuffles. When the lights come on, Sage and I are standing shoulder to shoulder. We're in some form of an underground facility. It's no place I've ever been before. I don't seem to recognize any landmarks. What I do recognize is a almost cartoonish representation of cadavers breaking down walls and walking towards us. This is easy. I can handle the dead. Sage and I begin to fight side by side. A message pops up floating over both of our heads that say that we are now in competitive mode. Sage knows games, even better than I do. When playing in a competitive game, your best course of action, if you're aiming for a high score, is tit for tat. Offer to help your opponent. If they accept, then you help them. They help you. You mutually benefit from each other. If you offer to help your opponent and they refuse, then you actively try to hinder your opponent. Let them take the front line, back up away from them. Sage offers tit for tat. He attacks the nearest enemy to me before turning to face the ones nearest him. I do the same in response. I have every intention of fighting side by side with Sage. The game is easy. I know him. He knows me. I'm a frontline fighter in games. I love to be up close and personal. In this game, I have access to my military training, my advanced hand-to-hand tactics, and I have the bonus of familiarity of my weapons. I have a large selection of knives to choose from, and I've used all of them in the past. Never against men, against animals, against dummies, but it translates well enough. A cut is a cut. Leather versus wood is a fair facsimile for leather versus flesh. The game is easy. Easy enough that Sage offers me a challenge. Aim for monsters wearing hats. Double your score. I'm amused. I play along. The game seems irritated with us. A message pops up overhead. Player 2 has been disconnected. Waiting for another player. I'm booted back to the character select screen. I'm presented with my same choices as before, but Sage has been made unavailable. I know who my next choice is. My next choice is Nako. I haven't known Nako as long as Sage, but we have a decent understanding of each other. We're friends, we're close. The rules of the game change. When the world lights back up, I'm no longer in the underground facility. I'm on a boat. Nako is sitting behind me. I still have my crossbow. I still have my knife. Nako has his short sword and a pistol. I don't know much about his short sword or where he got it, but I know that he's like me. He likes his toys. He brought one with him. I can't see myself, but I can see Nako. Nako is dressed in a brown coat, hoodie. He has on a pair of black glasses. His name is sewn into the back of his coat. His initials on the front. It's embroidered, self-made. This time, it doesn't look so much like a game. A message pops up overhead, reading survival mode. The water underneath us is gray. There's a city visible in the distance. The air is cold. It smells bitter. There's a long silence. Nako steers the boat. I watch the horizon, trying to understand what the dream is doing, why it shuffled things around. After a short time, the skeletons of boats become visible. The large steel outer shell. On the base, it's mostly intact. Higher up, the skin hasn't peeled away. The boat is unstable, broken, burnt. This game is different than the last. This time it's not quite as much fun. We continue to move for a ways. We find ourselves floating in between buildings. This looks like it might be a downtown area, Minneapolis, St. Paul. The only buildings that are visible are the ones that are over 30 stories. The rest have sank. As we continue to float through the darkness, movement becomes visible off to one side. Mako whistles and points. I pull out my crossbow. I raise it into position. A bony fin has breached the surface of the water. It has 5 folds in it, ending in long, sharp nails at the top of the fin. It's about 12 feet long. I take a shot with the crossbow. I'm no Deadeye, but I'm good enough. I hit the creature. The fin sinks below the surface, vanishing. I hear Nako pull out his gun and take a shot. He hits something. It sinks. I don't catch it, but I see the rippling of the water. Ahead of us, the surface breaks again. 5 more sets of fins. They come towards us. I crouch. Nako stands over me. I shoot my crossbow. Reload. Shoot again. Nako takes 6 shots. The magazine drops out of his gun. He reaches under his hip and draws another. Locks into place. He keeps shooting. The fins disappear from in front of us. I point out that they've gone beneath us. Come up behind us. We both turn. We take another volley of attacks. I get off 2 shots with my crossbow. He gets off 4 with his pistol. The boat gets struck. It shakes. It tips. Nako and I fall overboard. As I break the surface of the water, coming up for air, I look for Nako. A message pops up. Player 2 has been disconnected. Slowly the heads-up display vanishes. Another monster appears. It's some sort of a fish beast, prehistoric in nature. It has a green-gray appearance to it, scaled. It has long teeth, sword-like. They're not equilateral. They seem to hook and twist in ways that are uncommon, or at least amongst surface-dwelling creatures. I've seen something to the alike, but it's been only in deep-sea fish, saltwater fish, abyss fish. Things where evolution has been unkind, where the terrain is uneasy. There's no need for cosmetics at the bottom of the ocean. Only long teeth, stingers, ways to survive. I take one more shot with my crossbow as the beast opens its mouth wide enough to swallow me whole. It flees. There is stillness. There is silence. At last I get the opportunity to look around me. I'm treading water. It's freezing. The melancholy overtakes me. I look around. The world is dark. The world is uncaring. The world is covered in gray water. The sky is a blistered black. Only tiny sparks of light visible in the distance. I'm left to ask myself, if I win, if I lose, does it make a difference? In a world like this, in a world where you're alone, what is the difference between success and failure? Something grabs my foot. I'm pulled downwards. The water covers my eyes. Light sinks away. I'm left with nothing but silence.